In a way, they are two separate issues, but have an interaction. We know that in heat stress for lactating sows, for example, that without dietary adjustment, then sows that are under heat stress conditions will reduce their feed intake because the thermic effect of feeding, or the metabolic effect of feeding, increases heat production. The animal has to get rid of that heat. One of the mechanisms for reducing heat production is to lower feed intake. We know that if you formulate diets on a net energy basis, that feeding fat or lipids has a lower heat increment than feeding starch and feeding protein. Therefore, you can make some adjustments with the diet under heat stress conditions, but because fermentable fibres will also have a heat increment associated with them, you need to consider the ratio of a more fermentable fibre versus a less fermentable fibre. You need to have a level of non-fermentable fibre such that the peristalsis, such that the gut will keep functioning correctly. One of the consequences of changing a diet formulation is that the bulk density might change, and that lends itself to including perhaps less fermentable sources of fibre in combination with other adjustments to the diet with respect to fat and protein. Now, I think that heat stress is a relatively short-term effect, 3-4 weeks in lactation, whatever the length might be. We know that if you look at the microbiota, that the microbiota has ups and downs. It changes constantly depending on food intake, the environment, and so on. I think that for that period of lactation, there would be no major negative consequences of manipulating the fibre composition for that period of time, and you could achieve both a alleviation of heat stress and still maintain a microbial balance quite satisfactorily.